Welcome, everybody, to the first podcast of 2023. If you are new here, my name is Alicia, or Allie for short. Thank you so much for stopping by and tuning in. I live in New York on Long Island with my parents, my brother, and my four-legged baby, my Chihuahua Rico. I know that since the last podcast that I've done, I have quite a number of new people tuning in, so thank you all so much for subscribing and supporting me. I really do appreciate it. I have not recorded a podcast in a long time. It's been very, very long time. So being this is a new year, new podcast, I'm just going to start like completely fresh. The projects that I was working on back when I recorded my last podcast, I am probably not even working on those. I probably didn't even finish them. I don't know. I can't remember that far back, and I'm too lazy to go back and check. So, with that being said, let's hop right into FOs. So I do have a finished object for 2023. This is my first one. I started this like 2 days ago, and I finished it on the same day, so I'm very proud of myself. So this is the project I started and finished. I did not block it yet, so it's not all the way done. This is the Basic Beanie by Emily B. Oh, just to give you guys a little heads up, I have been really, really sick the last week. That's why I did not post a video last week. It was really bad. My whole family pretty much had the flu, so if you can hear that in my voice, I'm sorry. I'm finally starting to feel so much better. I just am still pretty congested. But yeah, of course, I'll cut out any coughs or anything so you guys don't have to hear that. But yeah, so this is the Basic Beanie by Emily B. Everything will be linked down below. I'm not great at pronouncing names or words or anything, so it'll all be down there. This is in the size 0 to 3 months, and I knit this for my niece who will be born in March. It looks really small, but I'm kind of hoping that it'll block out a little bit bigger. The yarn that I used is this Plymouth Yarn Baby Alpaca DK. It is made in Peru, 100% baby alpaca, and the color is just 1720. Really nice stuff. It's really, really soft. I want to say that alpaca is like hypoallergenic, so that's why I'm hoping it's going to be okay. My sister has a little bit of a sensitivity to wool, so I'm trying to avoid wool, but that's pretty much all that I have in my stash, so that's a little bit of an issue. It's a good project to use up yarn quickly. Well, I guess not use up yarn quickly, but it's definitely quick. So you could probably bust out a couple of these in one day and go through a little ball of yarn, which is nice. Moving right along, we're going to get right into my whips or my works in progress. So the first work in progress that I'm going to talk about is my... Ta-da! This is my Painting Bricks shawl, and this pattern is by Stephen West. And I had started this project in a different colorway, which I didn't frog. It's in my UFO bin. But I saw this and I was like, you know what? I would really love to knit like a fall-inspired Painting Bricks shawl. So the main color is by Surella. It's one of their fall collection colors. And then the contrast colors are a bunch of different fall minis that I've had. I know like this colorway here was by my lovely friend Crafted by the Fates. And then I think the rest of these were probably from the 13 Nights of Salem from Surella. But yeah, I love this project. It works up so, I wouldn't say so quickly, or maybe it does work up quickly. But it's just so fun when you start changing colors because it makes you like want to get to the next one to see how it's all going to look. Oh, and then I wanted to show you all this cute little bag. My friend Crafted by the Fates made this for me, and I am obsessed with it and I love it. And that's where this shawl lives. Okay, so my next whip is the Classic Tee. I cannot pronounce this name. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher it. Space. So this is the classic. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. This colorway is Velvet by Surella Yarn. Again, this is a colorway that was a part of their fall collection, so they no longer have it for sale. But I'm just obsessed with the way that this looks, the way that it's like working up. It's just so nice. I had a little issue up in here, and I think that's from a little issue in there. I think that's from the German short rows. I think I must have done something wrong, so I got this little like bubble here, but I'm hoping that that'll just block out and I can kind of ignore it. But I am on the body, and I've just kind of been knitting this when I need like a mindless knit. I'm not in a rush to finish it, but I would love to finish this by 2 weeks from now, because in 2 weeks I am going to go away for a couple of days with my boyfriend, and I really would love to wear this sweater. But I try not to stress myself out with deadlines, because I have so many other stressful things going on in life that my knitting doesn't have to be stressful. So, yeah. So that is the classic. Again, it's a free pattern on Ravelry. I recommend it 100%. It is really well written. I am knitting this in the size 1, which is a finished bust of 43 inches. I am a 40 bust, so normally I wear like a medium or a large, depending on the fit of something, but I didn't want this to be super baggy, so that's why I went with the size 1. It's supposed to be a little bit baggier, but I just didn't want it to be that baggy, so yeah. Okay, so my next and final whip is this right here. So I started this yesterday. It doesn't look like much right now, but this is the Bear Knit a Teddy pattern. I didn't write down who wrote it, but again, down below. So far, it's fun. I'm working on the body, and I'm excited to see how this gets turned into a bear, because right now it just looks like a little rainbow. So far is really well written. I do really like it. It's only like $3, I think, on Ravelry. So it's a good price to pay. So those are all of my current whips. I have a huge stash of UFOs, or unfinished objects. They have been living in project bags for a while now, and I kind of plan to leave them there for now. But what I do think I want to start doing is later on down the road, I'm going to pick UFOs out and put them back into my whip category, so that way I will work on them. Currently, my latest addition to my UFO stash is the Hibernation blanket, or the Hibernation throw. So I started this with my fiber friends. We were doing a knit along. Right now it's just not bringing me joy. I mean, the colors are bringing me joy, but nothing else about it is bringing me joy. I made a mistake here. Right here. See, you can't really tell unless you really point it out. Or I guess I could really tell. That's why it's bothering me. And I don't feel like ripping back, but I also am not in the mood to just ignore it right now. So I think this is just going to sit in the UFO bin for a little while, because it's just in timeout, okay? It's just in timeout. So another section that I want to add onto the podcast is my de-stash section. I'm taking inspiration from Natty, who did a de-stash to 0 last year. So she did it from 2020 to 2023. I have been starting to feel pretty overwhelmed by my stash. I have a lot of yarn, and I'm not trying to say that to brag. I am saying it as I have a problem. A lot of the times when I have a really shitty week or I don't feel great, I go and I buy yarn. And it's always been a thing that has brought me joy, but now it's becoming a burden a little bit. I just feel bad that I have so much of it and I'm not using it. I'm an extremely, extremely slow knitter, so it's hard for me to use up the stash that I have. And then on top of that, I just keep buying more. So I am going to try to destash. I see a lot of people doing a no buy 2023. I'm not going to do that. I think that that's a little extreme. If you're somebody who buys yarn for the feeling of buying yarn, I don't think it's healthy to just quit cold turkey. I don't know. That's my view on it. And then I think that it makes it more stressful, because then when you go and accidentally buy more yarn, now you feel like you failed and you're not going to continue to work on your goals. So I decided I'm not going to do a no buy. I'm going to do a destash. I'm going to work my butt off to try to work through what I currently have. And like I said, Knitty Natty did this. So I did take her video as an example. So I actually created an Excel sheet based off of Knitty Natty's Excel sheet. So I took her Excel sheet and then I went and added a little bit of my own type of stuff. So I actually took my yarn and I broke it down into fingering weight, DK, sock sets, minis, art yarn, and that's it. I realized that I need to do a worsted section because I bought some worsted yarn. I broke it down into each category so that way I can go in and look at how much yarn I'm using in each category. I'm extremely embarrassed to admit this, but I'm going to admit it because I think most people are in the same boat that I am. I also want to preface this by saying this isn't all of my stash. I have 3 big totes filled of acrylic yarn in my closet that I don't use that I plan to donate pretty soon. I'm just trying to find where I can donate it. I'm looking at if there's any women's shelters or retirement homes that I can donate things to. It's a little hard with COVID and stuff. I don't know how many places are actually starting to take things yet, but I am going to start looking into that option. I also have some more yarn that I found recently that I need to add to this list. I have 330 skeins of yarn. It's almost heartbreaking that I would allow myself to get this far. I am somebody who shops for sweater quantities very often, so I'm not just buying 1 skein, I'm buying 6, and that adds up very, very quickly. Another thing to note, this isn't really all of hand-dyed yarn. There are a lot of store-bought yarn that's mixed in there as well that is stashed with my hand-dyed yarn. There was a local yarn store that closed maybe a year ago. I think it was a year ago. And I went and bought a lot of yarn because it was super, super cheap. So that is also mixed in there. But still, it's a really embarrassing number, and I'm hoping to drop it down to as low as I can by next December. With that being said, so far I've used 2 skeins of yarn in my stash. But I've also added 22 skeins. So I'm excited to see how this goes. I hope that this is something that I could stick out to the end and hopefully try to destash as much as I can. I also made myself a new category, and this is yarn bought. So this is my own Excel sheet that I made. And what I did is I wrote down from January to December, and then I'm going to keep track of every single yarn that I buy. So currently for January, I've bought 22 skeins of yarn. Horrible. I know. So pretty much on the graph that I did brand, colorway, weight, skeins bought, yardage, total yardage, and then the total spent. So for instance, I bought Surella's yarn. She came out with the colorway Epcot. It was a part of her playlist #1 that she's doing. I bought worsted weight. I bought 5 skeins, which were 218 yards, for a total of 1,090 yards. So, I also made another purchase that same day. So then I did the total that I paid for it. And then now each month I'm going to write how much money I've spent on yarn. I think that for me, I don't track how much money I spend in yarn. And that's a big problem because I am a person who does track a lot of other things. So yarn has always been something that I'm like, it's okay. It's for my well-being. So with that being said, I do want to have a giveaway. I was supposed to do a 600 subscriber giveaway and I didn't get around to doing it. I apologize. But I want to do a giveaway now. So the first thing that I want to give away, I'm going to also say this. I have a huge stash of mini skeins. So my total of minis were 193. And that's just a combo of fingering weight and DK. So with that being said, I have a lot of minis. A lot. And I've realized that I don't personally like scrappy projects. I have some minis I'm going to give away. These minis actually came with a Black Pearl Magic bag that I bought. It was like a whole collection. It was a pink bag. And these minis here came from Forest Fiber Arts. They are so beautiful. These are fingering weight. I can't tell you how much are in each. I don't really know. But yeah, fingering weight. I'm also giving away this skein right here. So this skein came with one of my Halloween advent calendars. I don't remember which one. I just know it was one of them. This is also fingering weight and it has no tag. It didn't come with a tag. So, yeah, but it's so beautiful. It's pink, so it's going to match the pink minis. So I figured it would go together well because this is probably how I would have paired it if I were to pair it at all. To enter this giveaway, all I want you to do is subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that way you are notified when I post the winner video, which will happen next week. The video will go up on Monday. I kind of changed the time of my uploads. I think I'm going to start doing 6 o'clock on Monday. So next Monday is the 16th. So that is the day that I will draw a winner. The last day to enter the giveaway will be January 15th, which is Sunday at 12 a.m., right? So yeah, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Like this video. It really helps out if you do. And thirdly, I just want you to comment either a pink heart, this emoji right here, or if you don't have access to emojis, then just write somewhere in your comment, write the word pink heart, and that will enter you into the giveaway. So like I said, you will win these minis and this skein of fingering weight yarn. And yeah, I guess that's all that I have for you today. I apologize if this is a really long podcast. It's been a little while since I've recorded one, so I apologize. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel. I will definitely be trying to do more podcasts more frequently. I think for a little while I was afraid to record podcasts because I didn't have any projects that I was finished, and then I felt weird. But I think for now on, even if I don't have a finished object, I'm going to record a podcast and just tell you how far I've gotten. Actually, what I think I want to do is I'm going to put progress keepers in all of my projects today. So that way, if I do this in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I will have plenty to show you. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye!